I've finally chosen what university I'd like to go to. It's going to be the one to the north of us here, Wilmore Tech. But having to think about your moneyless butt still being in this house is not a great thing for me. It's actually been annoying me so much lately that I can't focus on my future anymore, so let's do something about you. Why don't you start thinking about leaving soon? I'm sure my dad isn't even interested in you anymore, right? Cora? Why would you say something like that out of nowhere? Congratulations on getting accepted by the school you've been wanting to go to, but what's with you acting so rudely right now to me? This all is not just coming from nowhere, okay? I want to know, actually, why have you still been living here with us? I get that you and my dad are married to one another, but that relationship you guys had is long gone now. He's no longer happy with what you've been doing. And you are getting in the way of the amazing life my dad and I could be living with each other right now. So I'm asking that you go away right now. Why do you think I'm the one getting in the way of that so-called amazing life with your dad? From what I've felt, you've been better off having me around than the life you had with just your dad before, especially with the choices he's been making recently. I understand that you and him married, making you my mother on a technical level, but you're not really my mom. You're nothing to me, actually. Not family, not a friend. You're nothing. Now you get out of my dad's penthouse right now. Your dad's penthouse? Is he the one that asked you to tell me all this? I haven't been causing problems for you two so far, right? And I have most certainly not been getting in the way of you and your dad's life together. I have no clue why you'd say something like that to me right now, but aren't you aware that you might be a little confused here? I haven't misunderstood anything so far. I know everything about you already, so no need to try lying to me. You know everything about me? What all do you know then? Because so far what you've been saying is wrong, and it's all become very concerning for myself. I know one thing about you is that you use up all of my dad's money, and that's why he hasn't been able to give me any more money as my allowance. He's told me how much you love to go shopping and how you always spend too much on groceries every week. Huh? What do you mean? As far as I'm aware, I rarely ever go out to shop for things besides food because I never have the time to. And when it comes to buying food, the only reason I have to buy so much is because your dad is eating all the time. Please, I meant what I meant. Are you not able to understand even the most basic of English? It's so wonderful that a stupid hag like you was able to marry a man like my dad. Because of that, you've been given such a relaxing life where you don't have to do anything. Had it not been for him, these past 5 years of your life would have been hell, having to try and manage all by yourself. Had my dad married a competent woman, then I'm sure you'd be out there on the streets begging for money with a little coffee cup. I believe it's because of my own actions that I have the life I'm living now. I wouldn't say much of this is thanks to him. Actually, as of right now, the only thing your dad is giving me and this relationship is his cold shoulder. Wow. So you don't even know what all you should be greatly thankful for right now. Well, as you could already tell by now, I have hated living in this place with you. But for the longest time now, there was nothing I could do about it, so I've kept most of those feelings to myself. I'm no longer able to keep them to myself now, though. I don't want to be around you anymore in this penthouse. So if you're now aware of the pain and trouble you're causing my dad and I, you should get out of this place, right? No, I'm not going to be leaving this place. You really are one stubborn old hag. This is my own house, so I'm not going to just get up and leave because you've asked me to. If you are really wanting me to be the one to leave this house for you, then I'll make sure to stop making payments on this place and end my contract here. I don't plan on doing something like that, and I hope I won't have to either. You are the worst hag I have ever come across. Why do you keep talking about me like that? For 5 years now, I've been the one taking care of all your needs, right? While you've been in middle and high school, I've been the one taking care of you instead of your dad. And when it came to all of your events, I've been the one there cheering you on. So why are you treating me so poorly right now when I've done nothing but love and take care of you? Because you have been taking all that money my dad earns and using it all on yourself. There's no way I'm going to keep letting someone like that take advantage of my dad, okay? So that's where the confusion is. You happen to want money from your dad, and so you went asking about it. And when he told you it was my fault you aren't able to get any, you got upset with me. Well, let me tell you right now, whatever he's gone and told you is all a lie, Cora. Dad would never lie to me, all right? You can just shut your lying mouth up now. You shouldn't be saying things like that to me when I've been very kind to the both of you by letting you live in this penthouse with me. Oh, shut up already. You're the one being allowed to live here because of my dad's kindness. If you don't want to become some stinky old homeless on the side of the street, then hurry up and find yourself a new place to live. If you don't find somewhere soon, then you'll be kicked out of here and have nowhere to go. Excuse me? I've told you already that I'm not going to leave this place. Is that so? Then let me tell you what I'm really thinking. And I'm going to make sure you regret the way you're talking to me. I'm not going to regret a thing. I feel that you really need to figure out the truth right now before you make any stupid moves, all right? What have you been telling your daughter all this time, Carter? I think you need to start telling her the truth before she does something really stupid.
What do you mean start telling her the truth?
You know what I'm talking about. I have no idea why for a while now you've continued to lie to her in order to cover up the truth. But you need to tell her the truth right now. She's your daughter, and she deserves to know, right? Are you not embarrassed to be lying like that to her? I'm embarrassed hearing about how you've lied to her so far.
You can calm down now. She happens to be my daughter, so I'm the one who gets to decide what course she's on.
What course she's on? What kind of course are you trying to set her on with all those lies about you and I? You're making me look like the bad guy over here.
And what's wrong with that?
What?
Her and I are doing really well together right now. So why does it matter that I tell a few lies about you here and there? If anything, you're the outsider in this family, so you don't have a say in the life I have with her anyway.
Is that right? So there's no point in trying to help you here, is there? Understood. Then you can go ahead and keep telling her whatever you'd like. But I'm going to start doing what I want as well. I just handed in your guys' divorce papers. What? I have the right to do something like that for my dad, right? I am his daughter, after all. Now, I want this parasite out of the house right now. I have been telling you that what you think is going on has not been true. Trying to kick me out of this place is not going to work for you or for your dad, so you should have just stopped when I told you that. It's not going to work? I think this will work in ridding this house of you for good. The divorce has already happened now, so you're nothing more than a stranger again to my dad and I, which means you'll have to leave this house, right? I've not made any mistakes here because I'm not the one who's been confused this whole time. You have made a mistake, though, and this whole time you've been very confused about everything. Just stop it already with all that talk and leave. You're the one that my dad has been letting live in his penthouse this whole time, you hag. The courthouse has already processed the divorce papers, so you can go already. Your dad's going to be the one leaving this place then. What? You have really been pissing me off with all that talk there. I am done playing the nice parent, considering I'm no longer your parent in your eyes now. I never thought that the girl I've been kind enough to house and raise these past 5 years would hand in our divorce papers like that. But you really went and did it, didn't you? I've been saying that this whole time, haven't I? Which means it's all over for you. All over for me? Right. I'm pretty sure it's all over for you guys, though. What did you say? Thank you so much for taking the time to hand in our divorce papers for me. I'm thankful for that. So now that means you two need to get out of my place. What are you talking about? You probably won't understand what I'm talking about until after you're kicked out of the place. Also, considering that you just divorced your dad and I, that makes you a stranger to me as well. To be honest, I've thought of you as a stranger all this time. Were you aware that I was the one planning to pay for you to go to college? And have been the one paying for all of your school supplies? Huh? Pay for me to go to college? What are you talking about now? I'm going to stop bothering with all that now, and we'll even take back the money I paid in order to get you to graduate. You might have thought you had the upper hand here, but it's because of me that you were finally given a decent life to live. But the fact that you haven't even realized any of that yet, oh, you poor little thing. What is all of this about? All I'm hearing from you is some of the most stupid talk I've ever heard. You really think I'm going to listen to anything you're telling me right now? I know that my dad has been the one allowing you the chance to live a decent life. Trying to lie to me about all of that again isn't going to help you any. Lying to you? If you really still believe that I'm lying to you, then why not go ask your dad about this? Come on now, just shut up and leave this place already. Thank you again for handing in those divorce papers for me. And so because of that, I would like the two of you to please leave my penthouse. I feel really bad for you though, so I'll give the two of you a day to pack things up. But if you're not out of there by the end of the day tomorrow, then I'm going to call the police on you guys for trespassing. What the hell is all of this? You have no right or way of kicking us out of our own place. And I'm sure it's not only you who thinks that, right? What? What do you mean? I'll go and let your dad know about this right now for you. You and I have nothing else to talk about now. And once you and your dad are out of my house, I don't want you to ever talk to me again. Is that clear? I'd love for that. I never want to talk to you again anyway. And just know it's not us that will be leaving our house. It's going to be you and your lying mouth. One other thing, don't ever think of me as your mom again either. I'm sure you've never thought of me as your mother since you act like this now, but I just want to make sure you're aware of that. This is all to make sure you never bother me again. And of course, there will be no more money coming from me after this. I've never once cared to think of you as anything besides the housemaid. And I promise I'll never talk to your butt again. I'm going to get all the money I've paid out for your graduation and such back, so you'll have to pay that all somehow. Perhaps you can ask your lovely dad to pay all of that for you. Say whatever you'd like, you old hag. I already know you paying for my schooling and all of that is one fat lie, so just shut up if you understand that. Sure, as long as you want to continue believing that this is all in fact a lie. I've only been trying to tell you the truth this whole time, but soon you'll find out the truth. Goodbye forever now, Cora. Please leave for me by the end of the day tomorrow. Wait, we've really been kicked out of the house? What the hell is going on here? Do something about this. How am I supposed to do anything to help if you're saying that place isn't my home? Now, I told you yesterday to leave the place by the end of the day today, right? If anything, you should be happy that I've given you a day to get out instead of just throwing you and all your things out of my house. So, what's the problem here? You know that this is a huge problem. I was just kicked out of our house. Why the hell am I being kicked out of there for no reason? Your dad already talked with you about this, so you should understand by now. What have they been teaching you guys in school if not basic English comprehension? Well, to reiterate for you, that house is mine, not yours. My house. And today I asked for the security of that building to go up and manage you both. I told them that you no longer have the right to live there with me and to escort you both away. I was right to do that, wasn't I? I heard from Dad that you weren't lying to me, and that's why we've been kicked out of the house, but are you serious? So you're telling me this whole time I wasn't being told the truth? Not being told the truth? About what? I've told you the truth about everything, and never tried to hide anything from you or your dad. The only problem was that you never bothered listening to me, instead labeling all that I was talking about as a lie. Or perhaps, could it be that your dad has been lying to you this whole time? You've always believed everything your dad has told you, right? I told you the truth about him, though, didn't I? There is absolutely no way my dad is unemployed right now. Why would my dad ever lie to me about something like that? Awesome. So you've finally come around to realizing that your dad is in fact jobless at the moment. It's been a year now since your dad lost his job. I want to know I've been lied to. Why would he have any reason to lie to me about something like that? To protect his pride is what his reasoning was. I'm sure it would be embarrassing for him. Having to tell his own daughter that he's a failure and a dick. Are you calling my dad a failure and a dick now? I am. Are you going to fight me about it? I sure as hell am. You're talking about my dad like that. Let me tell you right now that I no longer care about you or your dad's feelings. Any love that I did have for you both now is gone and replaced by ice. You wanted for this though, right? You were the one that wanted the divorce after all. But no worries, as I've been longing for a divorce myself. Huh? Are you being serious about that right now? But the only reason I never went and divorced him was for your sake. Why mine? I cared about you having an education. To be honest, I've hated your dad for a long time now, and for various reasons. This whole year, he's not been working any and has been cheating on me with other women. And when it comes to the way he uses my money, it's atrocious. But if I were to divorce him because of any of that, then you would most definitely not be able to pay for college. Your dad has no way of paying for your graduation or next step. I felt bad leaving you with him as your only parent, and that's why I put up with his crap. I really thought that I could put up with everything until your graduation, but I was wrong. You're lying, right? Is that all true? I never heard anything about all of that. But I told you that everything I'm saying is the truth. So you're telling me all of this was because you've been thinking of me? That's what I'm saying. Stop acting like this is all beyond reality for you or something. That's just rude. But I guess at this point it is beyond reality. You were the one that went and handed in the divorce papers, so there's no way to help you now. But I had no idea about what was really going on with you. And that's your problem, right? That all has nothing to do with me now. Right now, I've just had 2 huge weights lifted off my shoulders, and I'm feeling really lucky. Oh, wait a second. Don't say something like that at a time like this. So what's going to happen with my tuition and graduation? Am I still going to be able to go to college? I was planning to pay for your first year there. But I no longer plan on giving you any money for school, as you're not my responsibility now. Then what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to you? Get a job and pay for all that yourself. That, or you can force your dad to get off his ass and get some work done again. You can't say that! Like I was saying before, your dad never paid for any of your school supplies. I was the one that did all that, but I'm not sure why I did all of that now. Like I said, I'm going to take back the money I gave to pay for your graduation. So there was no reason to pay for your supplies to learn in high school in the first place, right? Huh? Are you freaking kidding me? You've already paid for me to graduate and everything? Oh, you'd be a real dick if you took that money back. Then what's going to happen to me after, with college and all that? I'm not going to be able to pay for all that. I know that. You can't pay for any of that, especially in your current situation. But that's something your dad and you are going to have to figure out now. You guys ruined the relationship I was willing to have with you two, so now it's on your shoulders to fix things. Just do your best and get a job. Well, actually, before that, you two are going to need to find a house, right? We don't have anywhere to live, so how are we supposed to carry on? Where the hell are we supposed to go now? Hey, I don't care about any of that, actually. What? Why do you keep asking me for help? Go and ask that wonderful dad of yours to help you figure all that out. You both are just strangers to me, nothing more. A family issue like that should be resolved within the family. I have nothing else to talk with you about now. Wait, you're a part of this family, though. Excuse me? Do you have any idea what you just said to me? You really have a crazy brain inside that head. Stop saying ridiculous things like that. I'm not crazy. Just yesterday we were both living our lives normally as a family, right? And you were still married to my dad, right? Yet now you're just acting like we're nothing to you. Don't you feel like a monster for acting like that right now? A monster? I'm not really sure what you're trying to get at there, but what about yourself? You were the one that handed in divorce papers in order to get your own parents divorced. And you were so happy to see me become homeless because of it, right? I'm sure I was all happy about that then. Not sure. You were acting all happy about that. If you just took a look at what you told me yesterday, you'd understand that, right? I know you're still just a child and all, and that's why I wanted to give you a good start when it came to being an adult. I was trying my best to take care of you because your disgraceful dad couldn't be bothered to. But in the end, the only person you ever listened to was your lying dad. Everything I tried to do for you all this time was for nothing, I see. Wait, but I didn't think things would end up this way for all of us. I just assumed it was because of my dad that things were going so well between us. And when he told me you were taking his money, I thought he was telling me the truth. And that's led you down this path of terrible confusion that you were believing all to be real, right? Well, this is how things have ended up for us. You and that moneyless dad of yours will have to go out and find a new house now. And you're going to have to start working in order to pay for school and everything. That's the new life you've just chosen for yourself. Don't say things like that. This was not something I wished for. Well, whatever. I know that I was wrong for all of it now. I'm so sorry for handing in those divorce papers. We can come back in now, right? Huh? What are you talking about now? What? I thought that by apologizing to you that you'd forgive me now. You're not going to? You're asking for my forgiveness? Well, that doesn't matter anymore now that you and I are complete strangers. You will never be allowed back inside my house. The security here will make sure of that. What? So you're really kicking us out of there? We can't come back inside? Good luck with that house hunting. Are you freaking listening to me? Isn't this wonderful? I will no longer be in the way of you and your dad's wonderful life anymore. You can be close to your favorite dad forever now. But of course, your favorite dad happens to be both a complete dick and jobless. Cora tried her best to act as though things were all going to be okay and that her apologies were forgiven, and even tried to force her way back into the building. But before she could even get to the elevator, the security there picked her up and took her back outside the building before locking the doors. And ever since then, she's not tried getting back into my house and had no longer been trying to contact me either. So for her, she's now stuck with the man she trusted so much, realizing now that he is indeed trash. I also got all the money back that I gave her for graduation, so it's not looking like she's going to be at that ceremony. And as for getting into the college she wants, that most likely won't be happening soon either. The only option she has now is to force her dad to work again or find a job herself and hope she can save up any money for her future education. And speaking of her dad, actually, he has still had relations with one of the women he was cheating on me with. So I suppose a third option for Cora would be to have her dad ask that woman for support and money and hope that she's anywhere close to as kind as I was. I guess things didn't really turn out the way Cora wanted after all. But that's what happens when you choose to ignore the open truth.
Hey Ria, are you there? I just wanted to know what you were thinking being out this late. I mean, do you have any idea at all what time it is right now? You really need to start taking more responsibility for your things. Your room is just a complete mess and you still aren't home to clean it up at all? Honestly, just what are you thinking? You do realize that now that you're married, it is your job to make sure that your house is kept nice and tidy, don't you?
Oh, hello, Ashley. I'm sorry, but what is all of this that you're talking to me about right now? That's an awful lot of text to get through, and I'd appreciate it if you could just tell me what's going on.
Well, I took it upon myself to visit my son's house and see how he is doing with his new wife. And imagine my shock when I walked inside and realized the state of the house that my poor boy is living in. Just what do you call this mess, huh? I mean, this is your home. You really ought to be taking better care of it, don't you think? How can you even accept living like this? It's just ridiculous. What is the matter with you, Ria?
I'm really sorry that you were upset at the way our house looks when you came over unannounced, Ashley. But the fact of the matter is that I'm very, very busy with work these days, and so I can only do what I'm able to. But the other thing you should know is that basically all of the mess in our house was caused by Sam, so I shouldn't be the one that you talk to about this. After all, I'm only ever able to do a little bit of cleaning during the few spare hours that I have on the weekends. I wish that I could do more, but I just don't have enough time in the week to dedicate to keeping my house clean.
You don't have enough time? Do you have any idea how obvious it is that you're just making up excuses for yourself right now? Listen to me. The matter of fact that you are married now, you're someone's wife, and you need to get that through your head. I mean, you may be working now, but your primary job should be taking care of the house and your husband. You do know that, don't you?
You think that my first priority should always be to keep my house clean and serve my husband? I'm sorry, but I'm just not sure if I agree with that at all. Besides, if Sam has any complaints about the way that we're living, he hasn't said anything to me about anything. So I think that I must be doing enough for him as things stand, or else I'm sure that Sam would have said something to me by now. So while I do appreciate your concern about the state of Sam and I's marriage, I really think that there's nothing to be worried about at all.
You really have no idea what you're talking about at all, do you? None of what you said changes the fact that you are married and have different duties than before you were unmarried.
I understand perfectly what you're saying, Ashley. What I'm saying is that my marriage is between my husband and you don't get to make demands of me.
I'm not talking about Sam at all, so you quit bringing up and trying to use him as a shield to hide behind, okay? I'm doing my duty as your mother-in-law to make sure that you are taking care of my son and doing your job as his wife. You think that Sam knows how to judge whether or not a wife is doing what she should be doing? Of course not. That's why it's my job as your mother-in-law to make sure that you're doing everything correctly. Because it is obvious to me that neither you nor Sam have your expectations set correctly, and it is my job to make sure that you learn your duty as my son's wife. So quit telling me, bringing up my son, and tell me that the messes are his, or that he doesn't have any complaints. You don't get to badmouth your husband ever. Do you understand me?
So I suppose I should just keep my mouth shut, wait on Sam hand and foot, and let you tell me exactly how my marriage should be going?
You really have got some nerve talking to me like this, do you know that? I knew that you were going to be no good for my son, but I didn't know that you were going to be such a brat. And even now, you're just out on the town having fun and completely shirking your duties to your husband right now. You don't tell me that you're doing all you can when you're out partying right now.
And just who said anything about me being out partying, huh? You are making that up entirely in your head, Ashley. I am out working right now, if you must know. I told you that I'm busy, and I meant it.
You really think that you can just tell me that you're working and have that be enough for me to believe you and leave you alone? I'm not going to allow myself to be fooled by you at all. There is no way that you're working right now, and I'm not going to fall for your little lie.
I am not lying to you one bit, Ashley. If you don't want to believe me, then that is on you, but don't you dare call me a liar. I have a second job that I have to work at night for, and I have to work this in order to contribute to our family's expenses. That is why I am always too busy to do things like clean the house or do the laundry. I am just too busy with my jobs to be able to do the housekeeping on top of that.
There you again, making up all kinds of excuses just because you don't want to admit that you're a failure of a wife who needs guidance from her mother-in-law.
I already told you that I am not making excuses, Ashley. Why are you acting this way towards me? I just don't understand where you get off.
You know I didn't just show up to your unannounced. If you must know, it was Sam who called me over actually. He told me that his place was a complete mess and that he needed me to come over right away. He told me that he can't stand living like this anymore and wanted my help. Can you believe that your husband feels so alone and hopeless about his living situation that he turned to his mother and not you? Don't you think that tells you a lot about what you need to know? But then he asked me not to mention a word of any of this to you because he actually thinks that you're kind and caring, if you can believe it. He didn't want you to know a word about this, but I was not going to sit back and let you just slide by without realizing just what you're doing to your poor husband.
So that's what's really going on here then, is it? I really don't know why Sam just couldn't have been a little more patient with me. I already told him that I would clean the house as soon as I had a chance and that there was nothing to worry about at all.
I have no idea what you're talking about at all. You really expect me to believe that you were ever going to take care of this mess? If you were going to do it, then you would have done it already. That much is obvious to me. But now it's clear that you need to be taught about what being a good wife means. You are a lazy slacker who is taking advantage of your husband, and I'm not going to allow that any longer.
Are you even reading a word from the messages that I've been sending you? If you're not even going to listen to what I'm trying to tell you, then I think this conversation is over. I am going to have a little chat with Sam about all of this and let him know just how I feel about you coming into our house and criticizing me like this.
I really just can't believe that you're doing this again, Rhea. When are you going to learn, huh? I mean, do you really think it's okay for you to be out this late when you're a married woman? Don't you realize the damage you're doing to your marriage by being this selfish? You're just a stain on my family as far as I'm concerned.
What is it now, Ashley? What could you possibly want? What is it that you're messaging me about now, huh? Because I am getting sick and tired of getting these kinds of messages from you.
I just mean that every single day this week you have been out all night doing who knows what, and you are completely ignoring the work that needs to be done at your house. You really are such an irresponsible girl, and you need someone to teach you a lesson. But I have been over with this every week, and I can't even say that I'm disappointed in you anymore.
Hold on a second. Have you really been coming over to our house every single day this week? Why are you doing that? What are you doing that you need to come over to our house so often? And if you're going to be doing that, I would really appreciate it if you'd message me beforehand about you coming over. Although if you really want to know, I have made sure that the house is much, much cleaner than it was a few days ago.
Actually, the reason that I've been coming over is try and see how you're doing. I just need to know whether or not you're still someone who deserves to be married to my son.
Excuse me? You can't be serious about that, right? Are you really saying you're coming over to try and inspect me or something?
I'm just doing what any good mother would and making sure that their son's wife is up to the level that she should be. Is that really so wrong?
Did you really just ask if that's wrong for you to judge your son's wife? Yes, of course that's wrong.
Well, that is what I was afraid that you would say. Although, just from the times I've come over and the conversations we've had, it's clear to me that you are, in fact, not good enough to be with my son. But you should also know that I've taken it upon myself to throw away all your belongings from here, so you shouldn't even bother coming back home here. Now that you spend any time in your own home anyways, you're always out doing who knows what. You really ought to be ashamed of yourself. I mean, do you think this is any way for a married woman to be acting? Don't you feel bad for your husband at all? I'm sure that there are a million other women out there who would be a much better match for Sam.
Hold on a second. Did you really just tell me that you threw away my stuff? Please tell me that you weren't serious about that. Did you really do that?
Of course I did it. You think that I would lie to you about that? Unlike you, I'm not all talk. I act too.
For the last time, I am telling you that I am not out partying or whatever it is that you think I spend my nights doing, Ashley. I am literally working my second job that I need to do in order to support the two of us. But you took my being out of the house tonight as a sign that you could just throw away all of my things? How could you do that to me? What is the matter with you?
What is the matter with me? I want to know what the matter with you is, that what you think you can go run around doing whatever you want at all hours of the night. I only did this because it was obvious that you weren't going to be changing your night-crawling ways anytime soon. I tried to warn you, but you just wouldn't listen to me. You gave me no other choice but to take matters in my own hands.
Have you been reading a single one of these messages that I've been sending you? Why is it like I'm trying to talk to a brick wall when it comes to you? I have told you over and over and over again that I am not going out at night to have fun or party or see friends or anything at all like that. I am out every single night because I am busy working. Don't you get that? I am working to support my husband and I, in fact.
I don't care how many times you repeat the same thing over and over and over to me, because I know that every time you do is nothing but lie. You're a liar, and you're making my husband work all around the clock so that you can do whatever you want. You just want to take advantage of Sam and have him pay for your crazy lifestyle. Admit it. Or don't. I don't care. It doesn't matter at all to me anymore. Know that I've thrown out all your stuff. You're not welcome back to that house anymore. Do you understand me? You are on your own from here on, Rhea.
Well, okay then. I guess you can go ahead and wish Sam good luck when he only earns about $300 a month.
Wait, what? What is that supposed to mean? Why would you say that he only earns $300 a month? What on earth are you talking about?
You know what? I am not going to go along with this conversation anymore. I don't even know why I waste my time with you to begin with. In fact, I already am starting to feel as if a big weight is being lifted off of my shoulders now that you've kicked me out. It's like I'm finally free. I'll even do you one further and tell you that Sam and I are going to be getting a divorce now. Go ahead and let him know that we are through.
Now you hold on there for just a moment. You and I aren't through here until I saw that we're through. Now you rewind and tell me exactly what you meant when you said that he only makes $300 a month. That doesn't make any sense at all, and you will explain yourself right now.
You mean you're finally starting to listen to what I'm trying to tell you? Well, it's about time. Actually, I think it's a bit late if you really want to know. But if you want to know the truth about what's going on, you would be better off asking Sam yourself. Got it? All I've done is tell you the truth about what I've been doing, but you just refuse to listen to me. But the facts of the matter are that I haven't been the one going out and partying every night. That has actually been your son.
Hold on just a moment there. You must be getting the number wrong. There's no way that my son is making such little money. Surely you meant to say that he's earning $300 a month, right? Did you really think I was going to fall for that lie? How dare you keep trying to shift the blame for everything on my son? You have really got some nerve. Just what is even the point of doing that, huh? What do you think you have against him that you need to keep lying to me about you too?
You want to talk about trying to shift the blame onto people? You were the one who threw away all of my stuff to try and get me to end things with Sam, right? Well, guess what? You've won. Congrats! You're going to get your way, and Sam and I are going to get a divorce. You did it! I hope that you're happy, because I never ever want anything to do with you or him ever again as long as I live. Now, good luck supporting Sam when he makes so little on his own, and whatever happens next, leave me out of it.
Rhea, are you there? I was just hoping that you and I could chat about something really quickly. I tried calling you earlier, but you didn't pick up. Are you busy right now? I really do need to talk to you about this.
I am busy and I don't want to hear your voice even if I wasn't. If you have something that you want to say to me, you can type it out here, thank you very much.
Rhea, come now. Why are you acting this way towards me? We're family, aren't we? You should know better than this.
Family? Us? That's very rich. But no, we're not family. Just hurry up and tell me what you want already.
Well, the thing is that I talked to Sam about you moving out and all, and the divorce.
I really hope that you told him the part where you threw away all of my things and basically left me with no other choice but to leave.
Well, the thing is that Sam and I were talking about all of this, right? And I mentioned to him about what you told me with his lack of money and all, and well, it's true.
I know that. I was the one who told you about that in the first place, and you just kept insisting that I was lying to you, remember? Is that what you came to talk to me about? Because I've already told you the whole truth, and I don't have anything else to say to you. I was honest with you through and through, and you just refused to listen to me.
I know, I didn't listen, but I didn't believe it. I was sure that there was some kind of mistake going on, but then Sam explained it all to me, and it was only then that I realized you were being honest with me.
Well, I'm glad that you've learned that I've been nothing but honest with you over this, but just how many times did you make me explain this to you? You didn't listen to me. You didn't believe me. You ignored all that I was trying to tell you. This is all your fault. So I really have no idea why we're even talking right now.
I thought that you were spending all your nights out of the house partying or something while Sam was working hard to fund your lifestyle. I was just trying to be a good mother and protect my son. Surely you can understand that, right?
I understand that I explained the truth to you over and over again, and you just never listened to me at all. But I don't see how any of this has anything to do with me at all now.
I know, but you can just stop all this and go back to the way things were, can't you?
What do you mean, go back to the way things were? You mean you want me to pretend like none of the past few days happened? You can't be serious about that, right?
I just mean that Sam is so upset with me right now. He's really, really mad. He keeps going on about how it's my fault that you want to leave him. Because he's telling me that he doesn't want to divorce you at all. He doesn't want any of this to be happening. So please, can we just pull all this silliness behind us and go back to the way things were? I realize now that I may have made a mistake here.
You really are one of the most selfish people I've ever met. You know that? I mean, you were the one who threw away my things, and now you want me to come back?
Oh, don't worry. I did my best to get back as much of your stuff as I could. Of course, I sold a lot of your clothes, so those are gone forever, I'm afraid. But I have a bunch of boxes in the house with your name on them. If I return your things to you, will you please not leave my son like this?
Oh, well, thank you so much for getting my stuff, but the answer is still no. We're going to get a divorce, and that is final.
Please, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. I can't take off my son. I thought that was going to be your job from now on.
Ashley continued to blow up my phone, and I finally had to tell her that I was going to block her and that she would be hearing from my lawyer for what she did with my things. Even Sam began to reach out to me and beg me to come back, but even he gave in and signed the divorce papers finally. The next month, he wasn't able to afford rent in our old place and was forced to move out. He told his mom that since this was all her fault, that he would be moving in with her for the foreseeable future. As for me, after Ashley threw away my things, I moved to a new place and didn't tell either of them where my new address was. Although I have heard through the grapevine that Ashley and Sam are fighting every single night as Sam refuses to get a job and demands that his mom pays for everything. It seems like she's finally realized what a lazy leech her son is, but I'm afraid that it's far too late for her to do anything about that now. Hey, Layla, what the heck is this? You think that just because you are busy with work, you can give us your responsibilities? There is no way I'm going to continue letting you get away with this just because my parents are allowing it. Hello, Shay. I haven't been trying to leave you guys with any of my responsibilities. What's wrong? How am I and your parents involved in anything that has to do with you right now? Don't lie to me. This is what makes you a lowlife. You think you can just act stupid, which I know you are, all in order to go out and work and have fun while I have to be at home with this kid because my dad told me so. What? Lowlife? Kid? I knew about how you had been raised in a foster home and all that, and know nothing about raising a child and having a functional family. But what the hell are you doing, pushing your own kid off onto some stranger while you run off to do other things? If you're going to keep doing things like that, then you shouldn't have any kids. I wish my brother would have known better than this before he made you his wife. I have no idea what you're going on about right now. How could I be pushing my daughter off onto you when... Stop trying to make excuses for it. I already knew that you'd end up a useless person, and perhaps you don't want to trouble your kid with being such a waste of everyone's time and effort. That's really what I hope your reasoning is for handing her over to my family and I. But to think you'd go this far to get your child away from you? Why can't you just be an actual human and mom and take care of the things you've made? You quit that right now. What do you think you're doing leaving me on red? Hurry up and come get your kid. I am tired of having to sit here all day waiting for you to come and get her. You seem to be getting really worked up over something right now. And so far, you haven't given me any good explanation of the situation besides that you have my kid right now and that I should be a better parent. So I was thinking to wait for you to calm down before we talk some more. Now tell me, what are you talking about right now? Don't play dumb. You think that by having your kid go over to your in-laws, there wouldn't be any issues? Both my mom and dad are old, and when it comes to my husband and I, we have things of our own going on. He has to work all the time, and I have to make sure all the chores and things like that are complete before he gets home. With the way things are right now, I can't deal with this kid. I have been forced so many times now to take on your child over here, even when I tell my dad that I don't want to. Are you seriously going to leave your kid over at this house for the whole summer now? This place is not some daycare, so you cut all that out right now. Come and get them, or else I'm going to take them back over to your house and leave them there. If you're talking about my child, she is sleeping right next to me. I don't even have any memory of the last time I took her to your parents' house, or even your house to have her stay for the day. What? Then, whose kid is this? I had been thinking for a little bit now that everything you were saying made no sense to me. That has to be someone else's child, right? Maybe there was some confusion in what your dad told you and the kid is actually one of his friends' grandkids or something like that? That can't be. He would never do something like that for one of his friends when they have families of their own to get help from. You're just trying to make up even more lies in order to keep your kid over at my place. What? Wait, hold on. My kid is really here at home with me. I can send you a picture of them with me right now to prove it. This is screwed up. I was told that this kid is yours, and that's why we're having to take care of them. You idiots really have nothing better to say besides excuses. I want you to get your kid out of my face here soon, or else I will start to act out. Eric, do you have a moment to chat?
Hello, Layla. What's going on with you?
I just heard from Shay a little bit ago that she is having to take care of my kid. But I'm not too sure how that could be, considering my kid is back here at my house right now sleeping. After hearing about all of that, I wanted to check with you about what's all going on. She told me you forced her to take care of the kid, so perhaps there was some kind of misunderstanding here?
About that, huh? I'm sorry. Your mother-in-law's legs aren't the best, so I asked that she take care of the kid for a little while.
But, Eric, that kid isn't even mine. I'm totally fine with you having your daughter take care of the kid for you, but don't tell her that that's my daughter she has right now.
What?
Like I said, my daughter is with me right now sleeping, so there's no way that girl Shay has right now is mine. So what's going on here?
That's right. I'm sorry. I'm getting old, so perhaps my memory isn't all that great. We must have made the mistake of which grandchild that is.
You mistook which grandchild that is? Back during my daughter's field day, you came out to see her and you shouldn't have any other grandchildren besides my daughter. Also, aren't you still doing well enough to not be making mistakes like that? How were you able to mix up whose grandchild you had that badly? Wait, you only have one grandchild right now, Eric.
What? No, that's,
Are you hiding something from me right now? I'm at a loss, and I need answers to all this before I become any more confused. If you're not going to give me the truth right now, Eric, then I'm going to your wife about all this. Her legs might not work the best anymore, but at least she can tell the difference between kids and knows that she only has one grandchild.
All right. Don't say anything about this to my wife, please. Okay? The truth isn't going to be pretty.
Again, with this frickin' kid! I can't deal with this any longer. I've come back to your house and I am going to toss them in your yard right now. Then they can sit out there all day long and play in the hot sun until you come out of that house and actually do something with your child. What? Out in this hot summer sun? It's almost 100 degrees out today and you're just going to leave them out there? Of course. They're not my child after all, so why should I have to care about their health any? Just know that whatever ends up happening to them is all your fault since you're being such a terrible mother. I have told you so many times now that that's not my kid. Whoever you're doing all of that to has nothing to do with me, and you need to realize that before something really bad happens. Shut up! I have all the proof I need that this is your kid. So there's not one thing you could say to me that would get me to believe otherwise. Could you just calm down for me, please? I understand that you're really upset right now, but don't start harming that child over this. They really don't have anything to do with what's happened. Don't tell me what to do. I'm not going to take any of that crap from someone who never had any parents of their own and had to be raised in a foster home. Just because you never liked being in a foster home doesn't mean you can push your kid off onto me to handle. You are so messed up. I get that you have no idea how to raise a child because you never grew up in a family that actually cared for you, but you cannot force your child into a situation like this, you defective human. What the hell is going on with you, Layla? Making fun of me because I was a foster child? You think there's something wrong with me when you're the one tearing someone down because of a past they couldn't control. I get that you don't like me for the person I am, but all of those hurtful comments are ridiculous. You're the lowlife if you can't even learn to listen to what others are telling you and have to make them feel bad instead. So just listen to me. I know that there has been some kind of misunderstanding here. I know that because I know what's happening, but I don't want to hurt you or anyone else by telling you. What are you going to tell me that I don't already know, you loser? Even after all I've gone and said to you, you're still going to push that kid off onto me? I've been telling you over and over again now that they are not mine. A lowlife in your position has no right to talk to me like that. I know that this kid is yours. You can lie all you want about that, but I know the truth. And if you want me to prove that to you, this kid is wearing some really cheap clothing and they have no manners at all. They just run around all day long screaming and breaking things in my house. They are the worst child I've ever laid my eyes on. You really have no idea at all how to raise a child, do you, you foster child? My girl is a very wonderful girl, and at a private kindergarten she's going to right now, she is praised by both her teacher and a lot of the other moms there. They tell me she's like an adult in a 5-year-old's body sometimes, okay? So don't you ever say that my daughter would be a troublemaker like the girl you're with. Huh? Did you just say private? That's what I said. My baby girl goes to a private kindergarten right now. I told you all about that a while back, right? Ah, so this is why you continue to think that kid is mine. You've been judging who their parents are based on the clothes they wear and their manners. Of course I have been. A lowlife like you would never be able to afford anything more than the cheapest options. It's insane that you'd think I'd fall for a lie about your child going to a private school. I mean, having been a foster child, making money these days must be so difficult for you, right? Right now, my husband and I own and run a cafe together. It has been very popular on social media, and every day the place is packed, making it a very difficult yet rewarding job for us. What? Lion Lion is the name of our cafe. We have a lot of followers online, so go and have a look at the place yourself. There really is a place called Lion Lion. Is that you in the picture of the cafe? That's because I run the place, so of course I'll be in some of the photos. Of course my daughter isn't in any of those photos, though. So because your cafe is always so busy, you're having me take care of your kid, right? During this part of the summer, it is exceptionally busy here, and so we make sure to have more staff on hand since one of us has to be home with our girl. So don't think that we would just be pawning her off right now while we both only focused on our business. Sometimes only having one of us here can be tough, but we'd rather have it that way in order to keep our daughter from being lonely. There have to be times when one of you can't be home for her, right? That's true. And at times like that, we have to end up asking your parents to take her for a day or two. But we make sure to plan that all out in advance, and she is only there during the day until one of us is back home. And while she is over there, she would never cause the kind of chaos that child you have right now causes. She's been raised well enough now that she'll apologize if she were to be responsible for breaking something. There is no way you could raise a child like that as a lowlife. I may come from a foster home, but there are plenty of very famous people who have had the same upbringing as me. The fact that you are judging all of us based off that one fact is terrible. And I hate to have to bring this up, but I am making way more money than you are right now. Then, who the hell's kid is this? This brat seems just like you, causing all sorts of trouble for others without a care in the world for their mental health. There is no way this kid is anyone's besides yours. Well, about that. That happens to be your dad's secret lover's grandkid who he's been trying to hide. My dad's secret lover's grandkid? In the past, your dad cheated on your mom. At that time, they both then ended up making a baby together, and after that, he'd been doing his best to pay for them, through child support and things like that. But after a few decades, that kid then ended up having a baby herself and expected your dad to take care of it for her. So he listened and started to help take care of his grandkids, but in order to not let any of you guys learn the truth, he said the kid was mine, and then had you care for them. Which means that right now, you are taking care of his secret daughter's child. What? Huh? What the? This kid is his secret lover's child's child? Sort of like a hidden grandchild. Although that's a bit strange to say. I cannot believe this! There's no way something like that has happened. I've just been telling you the truth. You should have a word with your dad about this now. I've already spoken with him myself, and this is all what he told me. Your dad was asked to help with his other grandchild, and for a bit, he took them on with your mother. But in order to not let her find out the truth, he started asking you to take care of them for him. That's how things have ended up like this. Your dad ended up forgetting all about the fact that my daughter goes to a private school and forgot about her face as well, causing him to think that child was mine over time. Honestly, the fact that he mixed her up with whatever child you have now is a little bit disheartening for me. That's what happened? Shay, I can totally understand how you feel right now, having had a kid pushed off onto you for a while now. It really is tough having to raise a child. And when it comes to someone like you who has never had to raise a child before, this is your first time going through all of that. But even still, some of the things you've been doing and saying are not okay. Everything you've done to me up until now will not be forgiven. I don't need you forgiving me for any of this. I'm the victim after all. So quit it with all that crap about how I'm in the wrong here. You! What the hell are you trying to do by telling my husband all those things? This isn't about what I've said to him, but about all those things that you've been doing to that child who isn't even yours. I had to go and talk with him about how things have been going down there at your house. Just the other day, you left that kid in my yard all day under the scorching sun as though that was perfectly okay. I had to talk with him about that, all right? I was starting to worry about that child's safety. I was just doing all those things to them because I thought they were your child. So you're telling me that if it were mine, it would be okay to do whatever you wanted to them? Shut your mouth! And another reason I left them in your yard that day is because you were home. And there happened to be some shade in your yard, so it wouldn't have gotten that hot out for them. Are you not embarrassed to be making such a huge deal out of this? And one last thing, why didn't you tell me earlier that that wasn't your child? You never said anything to me like that, so you're just as much to blame as I am. God, I told you from the start that my daughter was already at home with me. I never heard that. How about this then? Why were you talking with my dad about things like his secret grandchild and crap? You have nothing to do with this family, so you don't get to tell me I'm wrong or right for what I've done to that kid. I wouldn't have to be involved in any of this if you had just listened to me and left me alone, Shay. But I do not want that child to have to suffer anymore for something those that need to take care of them are doing. Have you forgotten that I was involved in all sorts of suffering due to my parents? I understand what it's like to be hurt by those that should be looking out for me. Just like you've done to that kid. And it's not just the kid that's been hurt now, but their parents as well. Huh? Why would they be hurt? Had those parents actually taken care of their child in the first place, then none of this would have ever happened. After talking to that family about what happened to their kid, they were so upset by it and they went and apologized to them. She was just hoping for her dad to take care of her child for a bit, but he went and left her child with you, and then you put the child through some very serious circumstances. I get that you hated the idea of having that child pushed onto you and that you were upset from all of that. But that does not make for a good enough reason to ever cause harm like that to a kid who isn't even yours. What you did was not okay. You need to learn from what you've done and make some changes to yourself. Stop messing around. Why the hell did you get my husband involved now? Because you would never listen to me. I was able to talk with him about everything that's been going on with you. Because of that, he's now working on fixing everything you've done. If you actually had any common sense in you, then you would have never gone and done the things you did to that child or me. He told me that we might have to get a divorce now because of this. I'm the victim in all of this. It's my dad who should be the one facing punishment for all this. I was just lied to.
Layla, what the heck did you think you were doing? What you've done is going to tear this family apart. Are you not embarrassed by what you've done to us?
So you're going to start with the same thing your daughter's been going on about? Honestly, I don't even blame Shay for everything because the cause of all that's happened is your cheating. You were the one that went out years and years ago with another woman and made a baby with her.
And I wanted to keep all of that a secret. Now that you've taken what I've told you and made a big deal out of it, a lot of people in this family are being hurt. Doing something like that shows that you have no conscience. And makes me worry about the kind of person you really are. You are far too old now to be saying things as dangerous as you have to my daughter and her husband. Why couldn't you have kept that a secret with me?
I haven't done a single thing wrong here. And I like to think all that's happening within your family right now is what you asked for.
No! All of this pain my family is being put through right now is your fault. It's because of you making such a huge deal out of everything that my daughter found out I cheated long ago. My wife and I had been doing so well all these years. But after what you've done, even my wife is upset with me now and hurt. Are you even aware of that?
Come on, the reason your wife is upset and hurt right now is because of you. The only one that's been living in peace this whole time has been you because you've gone and lied to everyone.
Excuse me?
Your daughter already told me that you and your wife have not been doing too well recently. The fact that you're not aware of that only adds to all the pain you've caused them. Also, even had I not told anyone about what you'd done, your wife was already starting to catch on.
What?
When I went and told her about what you said to me about your story, she replied by saying she already figured all of that out. I was shocked when I had to realize that she was already ahead of the curve here.
There's no way! If she'd known already, then she would have wanted a divorce or something, right? She never said anything to me. Never said anything at all.
It's not that she didn't, but that she couldn't. Even if she wanted to say something to you about it, you both had 2 kids already, and she didn't have all the evidence yet. All she could do was cry herself to sleep every night, thinking that you had yourself another woman. But Eric, because of what's happened here, she's been able to learn about the kid you had with that other woman, and that you've been taking on that kid's kid for her. It would be rare for her not to take action against you now after all she's had to learn.
No! She has been with me this whole time because she loved me. You had just gotten to her and made her unhappy with me.
Your daughter was acting just the way you are right now, so I can see where she got that kind of childish behavior from. But the thing is, no matter what either of you try to say and think, you're not going to be changing the reality of the situation here. Your wife was able to have a look at all the child support you've paid and tried to hide from her. And right now, she's even talking with that woman you cheated with. and her daughter. Your wife has now been talking with a lawyer she had around with her for the longest time. And since she now has a good amount of proof that you've cheated on her and have been sending money to that woman for so long now, she can take you to court and get a settlement from you.
She has been at home this whole time, though! She never had any chances to find someone to help with the evidence and talk with a lawyer.
That's true. However, Shay went ahead and gave all that evidence to your wife just the other day.
What?
She did that because she is livid right now. I'm not going to forgive her for any of the things she's done, but she did fall victim to having to take care of that child for you in secret. Or should I say, she was scammed into doing that in a way.
No way. There's no way. I never raised that girl to sell her father out like that.
You never bothered to raise any of your kids in the first place, Eric. You would leave all of that on the shoulders of your wife, and then you would go out and play with that woman the whole time after you finished work. And then, after making a kid with that other woman, you went and kept them a secret from your wife this whole time. Honestly, I want to congratulate you for somewhat making it this far.
Shut the hell up! Shut the hell up, you family-destroying witch!
The family-destroying witch would be you, Eric. I have no clue how you mentally found it okay to hide all of that from your wife and kids, but it must be so much worse to be both your other woman's daughter and her grandchild because they had to grow up without you around them. No father or grandfather around. You went and lied to both parties about yourself, all so that you could continue to be happy and not pay for your sins. You've really gone and done it now by not only ruining one family, but two due to your selfishness.
You have no idea what a real family is, so you have no right to talk. Listen to the man who has actually had two families that have both loved and supported him.
There is nothing about what you're saying that I should be listening and respecting right now. And you want to know something really heartbreaking about all of this? Your wife has been waiting for years now, hoping that someday you'd open up to her about the truth and ask for her forgiveness. But instead of telling her the truth about having another woman, you went and had a kid with that woman and kept it a secret. She is going through a lot of pain now after feeling almost 3 decades worth of suffering and no longer wants anything to do with you. From now on, you deserve to live life on your own, please.
What? Why are my kids saying they want to cut ties to me now? This all shouldn't change the fact I'm still their father, right?
They want you out of their lives because you are their father. You went and did something completely unthinkable to them, and they are both in shock now. That's how horrible of a person you've been to them.
If they both cut ties to me, I'll be screwed. I won't even be able to see my grandchild anymore, right?
Huh?
You and my son went and had that girl of yours a while back, and it's been so nice having a grandchild around. I don't want to lose them.
I would never let my daughter meet a heartless man such as yourself anymore. The man who has gone and literally hurt everyone in his family, in both his families, needs to go burn in hell now. I'm on your mom's side in this. So that's it between you and I. Goodbye forever, you monster. Shay, the out-of-court settlement has been handled now, right? I heard about that from your mom. What do you want with me now? It's not like I'm happy about anything. I just wanted the money I deserved for having to take care of that woman's, well, I guess my sister-in-law's child. Have you not learned anything at all, though, after what all has happened? Learned anything? About what? About how I went and blamed you for that kid, thinking it was yours that whole time? Well, I was the victim there too then, so I shouldn't have to learn anything. And the reason I'm not happy is because even though my dad is out of the picture now, I'm going to have to take care of my mom now. Because he's gone, she's become my problem. You really are useless and a waste. Why did I have to end up in a position like this because of you? Having to take care of her has left me with no time to myself, and all of this after being forced to take care of a kid that wasn't even a part of this family. I get that you're the victim of some very terrible things due to your dad. But you didn't learn anything from causing harm to a young child like that, thinking they were mine. Just because you were a victim does not give you a free pass to do whatever you'd like. But you're going to be fine now, right? You should be used to taking care of another person by now. Huh? There's no way I know how to take care of my mom. Her legs are totally messed up and her back is hurting her all the time. And due to my dad, her lawyer is coming over to the house quite a lot. That's right. You come over and give me a hand. You're my younger sister-in-law after all. You're not twisted enough to throw away your mom-in-law now, right? No, thank you. Why should I have to go there and help you out? What? Well, you said it yourself, didn't you? Something about how it's messed up for one to force another person to have to take care of their responsibilities, like their child or their mother, perhaps? So I'm going to say the same thing right back to you. Do not have me take care of your own mother for you. That would be messed up. What? You witch! Your mom is already telling me that she doesn't need me to come over there and help you both out. She said she wants to keep relying on you until you've learned both your lesson and become a bit better of a person inside. So because of that, I'm not going to give you a helping hand. I happen to have a kid myself, so I need to be here for her. Then what the hell should I be doing here? I have no one else to ask for help now. Hey, reply to me. Eric ended up having to pay a massive amount in an out-of-court settlement to his wife, and then was completely cut off by everyone in his family. He was then left with their house as his wife moved out and would no longer have anyone around to keep him company anymore. Now he's going to have to work on paying off all the debt he's been left in for the rest of his life, most likely. I've heard about how he's been trying a few times now to get with the other woman he's been cheating with when he was younger, but she herself has a husband now and she won't tell Eric anything about him. He also tried going to the daughter of that woman, hoping that she would start hanging out with him more. Or even allowing him to go and live with her husband and their baby, but they didn't want anything to do with Eric either. She was actually so upset with what he had done to her daughter by handing her off to Shay to care for and abuse to some extent, that she ended up cutting ties to him as well. I'm not sure Eric will ever be able to find himself anyone to keep him company again, and should give up on the idea of family in general, since he obviously never had a good enough idea of what one was. When it comes to Shay, her husband ended up creating some borders, telling her that she'd be left in charge of her mother as a way of punishing her for what she'd done to both myself and that little girl. She didn't take this very well at first, cussing him out and even trying to guilt him into helping since this was his mother-in-law. However, just like with me, he said no to all that, and then hit her with the ultimatum that if she didn't care for her mom or tried forcing him to, then he'd divorce her and leave town. With that in mind, she shut up and got on living the life with her mother, having to make food for her mom all the time and clean up after her. With there rarely ever being any time for herself now, and that massive pride she once had being smashed away, she's left on her own having to care for her mother for the rest of her mother's life. Of course, if she ever comes to me and actually apologizes for all the trouble she caused, then I'd be happy to start helping her with her mom. But I'm not so sure that day will ever come. And to be very honest, I hope it doesn't.